All right, so you might need to make some money fast, or maybe you're looking to just generate some wealth. In this video, I'm gonna talk to you about how fast can you make money in real estate. Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm gonna show you multiple real estate transactions that I've personally done in my life and show you exactly how fast I got paid in each one of them. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know what strategy is gonna get you paid the fastest and what strategy is gonna probably get you paid the least fast, but also allows you to build like generational wealth. All right, so let's rewind back to 2007. Everyone remembers what was going on in 2007, then 2008, then 2009. So in 2007, I had just gotten my real estate license and I went in and I purchased my first property, my first rental. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Florida. And it was actually the first property I saw come across my desk. It was actually another agent in the office had listed this house, and I thought it would be a great house to buy and eventually rent out. So what did I do? I went and put an offer on the house, exactly what they were asking, and I got a loan for it. And the loan was secured, too easy, no problem. It needed a little bit of fix up, but I got a home equity line of credit as well. In 2007, it was extremely easy to get a loan with just stated income. And by the way, I was also a business owner. I had my lawn and landscape company and I had just gotten my real estate license. And the bank loaned me the money to buy this property. Well, I lived in it for a couple months, fixed it up a little bit, and eventually moved to the coast to start selling real estate and rented that house out. I paid $750 a month for the mortgage and I got $900 a month for my rent. Well, let me tell you what happens when your mortgage is $750 and you're collecting $900 a month for 12 months for a 1-year lease. Well, $750, $850, $9. There's only a difference between about $150 a month. Well, that didn't account for, the roof leaking, or the toilet getting stopped up, or the water heater that went out very shortly after I purchased this house. So there was always an expense that would happen that I wasn't accounted for, and that $150 a month didn't go very far. I mean, 10 months, every 10 months something would break, and I would only accumulate about $1,500 in the bank account. So you want to remember that with rentals when you're buying these rentals. And hopefully, the mortgage is paying down and the appreciation is going up, and then you're also using something called depreciation to help you get a tax write-off. Well, those things were working in my favor, even though I wasn't really cash flowing with a positive number each month, because eventually something would happen. Every 10 months, something would break. You can count on that. So my mortgage was going down slowly but surely. I was using depreciation to help with my tax write-offs, and then hopefully the house was appreciating. Well, we all know what happened in 2009. The real estate market kind of went down, so the house was worth a lot less than what I owed on the mortgage. So I had to ride that out for quite a few years for it to come back. So if you're needing to make money really fast in real estate, this 2007 example that I just gave you is not a fast way to get paid unless I paid $123,000 for this house. I could have gotten paid very fast if I would have paid maybe $60,000 for this house that was worth $123,000. I would have been able to go and open up a home equity line of credit, which I actually did. I actually got a $12,000 line of credit pretty much 30 days after I closed on this property. So I bought it for $123,000, but it was worth about $135,000. So that was one way to get paid pretty quickly, but I had to pay that money back. That $12,000 I got for 3% interest from SunTrust. I don't think SunTrust exists anymore. I haven't seen any around lately, but I got a SunTrust loan for $12,000. So I really got paid in 30 days, but ultimately I had to pay that money back. But here's what's really cool. That was all the interest I paid was tax deductible. So I got to take that off my taxes as well. And it was interest free, or basically I got money that I didn't have to pay taxes on. So if you look at it that way, you do get paid pretty fast on a rental if you buy it under market value. So what does that mean? You've got to get it at a discount. That's all that means. You got to buy it with a margin of safety at a discount. All right, so let's fast forward to 2013 when I did something I didn't even realize what it was called, but it's called house hacking. So in 2009, I actually joined the military because the real estate market was kicking my butt and I needed to go back to school. My grandfather, which I placed a lot of value in his opinion, he said, go to the military, go back to college and retire. With 20 years, you have all these benefits. You'll be paid for the rest of your life. So what did I do? I listened because I wasn't doing too well in real estate in 2009. I bought that first house in 2007, moved to the coast and started helping people buy and sell real estate. I ultimately started driving people around to find rentals for them. And I hated it. I was making like $300 a week. So I joined the military, went back to school, and I was on my second deployment. And by the second deployment, the Army actually pulled me out of Afghanistan and said, hey, we're sending you to college to be an officer. So they sent me to college, and I went to a place called Melbourne, Florida, Florida Tech, a private college, and I was getting my E5 salary. Well, what did I do? I bought a house right next to the college, and I bought a house that was big enough that allowed me to rent the rooms out. So I rented 2 of my rooms out and I lived there for free. My mortgage was so low that my 2 roommates, I actually made money off of them each month after the mortgage was paid. And this is called house hacking. This gave me my ultimate start in real estate. And oh, by the way, I fixed that house up. I put new carpet and paint in it. That's all I did. Well, I had a $55,000 in equity in this house in a very short amount of time. And when I say short, I mean 45 days. So I did what we call a VA refinance. It's called a streamline refinance, where I was able to pull all the cash out of that property within 45 days. So I pulled $55,000 cash. Now I could have used that money to go buy a boat or something because I was in Melbourne. I love the river, I love the beach, but I didn't do that. I bought a fixer-upper house in Palm Bay, Florida for $55,000, exactly what I had in cash. And then I actually used student loans to fix up this Palm Bay rental. So now I got my house hack that I'm renting out each month, my 2 roommates, who were, by the way, awesome. I'm living there for free. I still have my rental in Florida, the first one I bought in 2007, making me that $150 a month. And now I have a third one I'm working on. I'm actually fixing this thing up with student loans. The government's like giving me these loans for school, and I'm not needing all the loans. So I'm using it to buy paint and materials, and I'm actually putting sweat labor into this third rental house that I'm buying. Well, ultimately, after it was all said and done, it took me 4 months to fix it up. And my payments on this house was about $700 a month because I actually, like I said, I increased my mortgage a little bit on the second house that I'm house hacking. So I accounted for that for about $350 a month. And then I also was paying about $350 a month for those student loans, so they'll pay off pretty quick. So I'm at about $700 a month for those loans. And oh, by the way, this student loans, they're gonna pay off in like 5 or 6 years. So as I'm doing this video, they're paid off. So I'm paying $700 a month in debt service on this third rental, and I'm getting $1,200 a month in rent. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, $500 difference each month. That was a way better situation than the first rental. I learned from that first property. I didn't get paid quick from it, but I did learn from it on the third one. All right, so if you're tracking that rental, that third rental in 2014, I haven't been paid for it yet. I'm only spending money on this, but let's get to the paid part. So it's now 2014. I now have to pay for a class because remember I said Florida Tech was a private school. I've run out of my GI Bill, my veterans benefits, so I now have to pay for some classes because I ran out of money. Well, what did I do? I went and started searching for houses that were in lis pendens or pre-foreclosure, AKA they weren't paying their mortgage payment. So I went on propstream.com, and I got the lis pendens or foreclosures. Sometimes they call it notice of default. Basically, they've defaulted on their loan. They're 30 days behind. And what I did was I'd print out a list, and of this entire list, I would go and door knock every single one of those properties that were behind on their mortgage. And if they didn't answer the door, I would leave a little sticky note saying, I'd like to buy your house, call me. And lo and behold, I actually had someone call me on one of those notes. And that call, I went and met that gentleman. His house was worth probably about $185. I got it under contract for $150, the exact amount he owed on the mortgage because he was so done. He was leaving. He hadn't cleaned the place in like 10 years. He was done with it. So I got this property under contract for $150, and then I put it on Craigslist for $155. I said, hey, cash sale, must be fast, 7-day closing, looking for a buyer. Well, this was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, and guess what? A woman that owns a title company in that area in Melbourne, Florida called me and said, hey, is the house still available? I have a buyer. I said, yes, it's still available. He looked at it. He signed a contract with me for $155. Now, mind you, I had it under contract for $150. I now signed an assignment agreement to my end buyer, my end cash buyer for $155. I'm keeping the difference of $5,000. He's closing in 7 days. We show up, and the seller, he was just so giving up on it. He didn't even move his stuff out. Well, I ended up hiring a bunch of guys on Craigslist. We had like 6 hours to move this gentleman out. I paid all these guys in cash. They brought their trucks and their trailers, and I get my $5,000 at closing. I went and cashed the check and then pulled out $600 and gave it to the seller so he can go and put it like a deposit on an apartment. So this whole deal, from the first day I left the note on this guy's door to my actual payment, was 7 days. If you need to get paid fast in real estate, I recommend starting with wholesaling a house just like I did. So let me tell you what's really cool that happened here is another wholesaler, another person that got a house under contract right down the road in Sebastian, Florida at a discount, saw my ad on Craigslist and calls me and says, hey Brent, I remember her name to this day. Her name is Tanya. I hope she's watching this video. Tanya, if you're watching, definitely hit that subscribe button. And also, by the way, if you're watching this, you know you're getting value out of this. Hopefully it's a little entertaining, and I'm sharing my story here. Smash that subscribe button. And I've got so many more videos just like this that will help you on your journey to getting paid fast in real estate. So Tanya calls me and goes, Brent, I have a house for sale in Sebastian. I've got it under contract for this price. Can you help me? I was like, absolutely, Tanya. I got this massive buyers list of one person. She owns a title company. I'll call her and see if Lou, by the way, Lou is my first official cash buyer. Hopefully Lou's watching this too. Lou, hit the subscribe button. So Lou, I was like, hey, Renee owns a title company, by the way. I said, Renee, do you think Lou wants to buy this house in Sebastian? We got it under contract for this. We're asking this. So basically we added $9,000 to the asking price. So let's just say for easy numbers, Tanya has it under contract for $150 and we're asking $159. The wholesaler is going to $9,000 fee. Me and Tanya agreed to split it, so we're going to split $4,500 each. So Renee says, no, Lou doesn't like Sebastian houses. He only likes 4-bedroom, 2-bath houses, but I'll go look at it. So Renee goes and looks at it. Renee's the owner of the title company, and she goes, Brent, I'll take it. $159 it is. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? So now I have 2 cash buyers. So I call Tanya and say, we got a deal. And 7 days, I get the check for $9,000 assignment fee. And then I deposit it in my account. And I called Tanya. I said, hey, let's meet in Melbourne here. I remember she met me off of US 1. And I wrote her a $4,500 check. So I was paid from that first note that I put on that door for the notice of default. 7 days later from that one. And then about another 2 weeks later on the second one that just came to me out of the grace of God, because I was out there just hustling, working, getting lucky. Really, at the end of the day, we just got to put in the efforts and put in the action to get paid really quickly on real estate. All right, so this last technique I'm going to share with you was absolutely my favorite. It's the actual, what I call the holy grail of passive income and getting paid every single day from land transactions. So let's fast forward to about 2016. I'm now moving to Colorado Springs as a young Army officer, and I start mailing landowners that are on the tax delinquent list, these landowners that are not paying their back taxes. So I'm mailing them a postcard, and I'm going to give you this postcard as a free gift today if you stick with me to the very end of this video. But I mail them a postcard saying, hey, my name's Brent. I'd like to buy your land at 123 Main Street. If it had an address, most of the time it didn't even have an address. I would say on Sequoia Drive or wherever it was located. Well, the first guy that called, he was a retired CPA, said, I'm done with the land. It's not buildable. You can have it for $285. Like, he gave it all to me in the first 10 seconds. I didn't even have to negotiate. I was like, who could buy land for $285? I went and looked at the land, had no clue what it was worth. I actually called the real estate office that was down the hill from this property, explained it all to her. I was like, look, I want to know what the fast sale price is, the get it done now price is, the blowout sale. I want to blow this land out. She goes, I don't know about the get it done now price, but I think it's worth about 10 grand. I was like, you're kidding me, right? I can buy it for $285. This is in my mind. I didn't tell the realtor what I was buying it for. So I thanked her for her time. I hung up, and then 5 minutes later, my phone rang. It was the same realtor asking if she could buy the land from me. And I was like, great, what are you offering? She said, $5 grand. I said, when can you close? She said, 4 days from now, Wednesday. I was like, okay, send me the contract. So I called my seller. I said, hey, can you meet me on Tuesday? I'll pay the $285, bring me the deed. And then Wednesday, I went and got my $5,000 check. So I rinsed and repeated this. I kept mailing that list. I kept mailing landowners and buying land at crazy massive discounts. And I would turn around and sell this land with a down payment that was equivalent to get my purchase price back out of the land. And then I would sell the land for what it was actually worth $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and take payments. I've done this so many times. I now have 115 of these paying me every single month. Sometimes I'm paid 10, 12 times in a day from land. Now, this was not fast. It took me like 45 days to build the system, but I built it in the air and I learned through all the mistakes and the trials and the tribulations. If you want to learn from me the mistakes not to make, head on over to thelandsharks.com. Schedule a call with me and my team. We'll see what your real estate investing goals are, and if we feel like we're a great fit, I'd be honored to coach you.